شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you are grateful, I will give you increase. And what a contract this is. What a deal this is that Allah Ta'ala bestows upon us.
What is this thing that them call Islam? Some of them call it peace, but the real meaning is submission. When is the meeting? The greeting is As-salam. Alaykum, reply wa alaykum salam. What is this thing that them call
invite people to actually see the Norwich community and get a flavour of who we are.
As-salam. Alaykum, reply wa alaykum salam.
This man was the playwright, actor and writer Ian Dallas. He chose for himself the Muslim name Abdul Qadir after the great 12th century saint and scholar Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Jailani. My name is Hajj Abdul Haq Bewley. I was here when the mosque was founded in when we first came here in 1976. I think that I was probably the first imam to give the khutbah here. I would say yes, the core of the community here are people who were not born as Muslims. The first group that came here were the group that came from London in the 70s, who were nearly all Muslims born and brought up here of English background. In the 90s, there was a cross-fertilization took place between that group and the group who were then in Brixton, mainly West Indian origin. And so now the community here is made up mainly of those two groups. All of those people who have stayed with Sheikh Abdul Qadir, all their children have remained in the deen, and their children are being brought up in the same way. So it really is an expanding community.
I've been a Muslim for 22 years now, and my younger brother became Muslim first, and that's all he talked about. So I just decided to start reading up about it a bit so I could have a dialogue with him. And then, there was no flashing lights or anything, it just was a natural progression of who I was. And within a year, I became Muslim.
I wasn't born a Muslim as such. I grew up in Norwich and with a family who were Christian, and I embraced Islam in 2006, just after my twin brother had become Muslim. I still wanted more, and I was looking and searching for more meaning to my life.
We'll come and meet these people to see what you think. So I was invited to the Wheel, which is something they have on Wednesday in Brixton at that time. And I went there and I met the people, and it was such a diversity of people from different backgrounds, and I could somehow relate more to what was going on, and there was also a political element which, kind of worked my intellect, and I just stayed with them ever since.
My brother helped me to see how Islam gives people a new set of kind of almost not only rules, but the way in which it opens up the person to knowledges and to a way of life that kind of is protected and guaranteed success.
Cada vez se aleja más dirigiéndose a la certeza de estar junto a ti, dejar todo pasar o seguir adelante.
By design, from the heavens, star sign, Gemini, embroidered by a master craftsman on the night sky.
I think everybody got a really good reception. It was a really good crowd as well.
Or levelling mounds that bring them closer to the barren surface for diligent birds of prey.
Ramadan, love you Ramadan, Ramadan, love you Ramadan.
Standard, we have no idea what may appear on this blank canvas, like the precious.
Well, I think it's to get a bit of transparency there. A lot of people have a perception of Islam, and it's to, it's to open up and say, come and meet us. We're Muslims. This is what we do. This is who we are, and whatever you might have been told in the media, we're here to show you ourselves, no masks or anything. It's come and see who we are. If you've got prejudices, then break them down.
My name is Amal Abdul Hakim Douglas. I'm what I call an enterprise consultant from
DMZ Consultancy, my own business, but I'm also the director of the Ihsan Mosque and very much involved with the gold dinar and silver dirham in the UK. Usury is something that's been forbidden in Judaism, in Christianity, and similarly in Islam. It's something to do with something for nothing. If you look at that in depth, you realise that actually the whole banking system is based on this something for nothing, because actually paper money, you know, you go to the shop with paper money, you're actually using paper which has been stamped with numbers, and you're buying something. So it's really, you're taking someone's goods for nothing. So in fact, paper money is really epitomises this thing of riba, usury, something for nothing. A transaction cannot be fair if people are giving you worthless bits of paper or digits for your tangible goods. For a contract to be fair, it has to be something tangible for something tangible. So what we're saying, we're trying to get people to accept the silver dirham in payment for goods and services. You have to promote money should be real, currency should have its own intrinsic value, should be real. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, no matter what crashes, you're left with a bit of tangible silver that will have its value all the time in your pocket. So we're pushing people, we're saying, register, become on the directory, Muslim or non-Muslim, right? And let's see where it goes. We want people to have gold and silver in their pockets. So that's what we're really pushing. Gold and silver in people's pockets, whether dinars or dirhams, real currency, preferably gold and silver. Again, doesn't have to be dinars or dirhams. Fair contracts without these harsh penalties, and giving people, individuals and people in countries, access to the marketplace. So we want the cocoa farmer in Ghana to have access to selling stuff in the marketplace. Then they will decide for themselves what they want to do with their money. You know, support the movement for the new British Isles Islamic silver dirham coin.
علشان إسرائيل تقدر تحتل أراضي تستخدم أساليب كثيرة.
There was a war, then there was the Israelis as oppressors, and Palestinians are victims. I mean, a film like this, I mean, it raises so many questions, and every individual here, using their own knowledge, their own information, their own experiences, they would relate to this in a particular way.
You and all of us have shared something that has now been written for us, which is that when you see something, you are witnessing it, you become responsible for it.
It was a medium of information. The next step is what we're going to do about it. What can you do about it? Should we do anything about it?
Allow witnesses that we've seen this thing. What are we going to do? All I was saying about it is our community here in Norwich has a history of having done something about it. Allah says, if you save a life, it's like, the whole world and everything in it. But one action that can be done is, from amongst us, if a group of people go there with the intention to meet some people there and invite them to come back here, just to come for a week or something, to be with us, And then we have a brotherhood or a sisterhood has been set up. Previously it was done by women in this community, which is, again, one of the things that you can see, is the Palestinian women and the children are a big part of it, They have something very close to us in their way with the deen. Hand your affair over to Allah. Take this thing to Allah. An action to go and see people for the sake of Allah is handing it over to Allah. Then something will happen. We'll all witness it. But let us do that.
I was here to present at the women's conference which they arranged today, and originally we were talking about sort of business, but also really getting the women to reflect on themselves, what they have to offer the world, how they can better themselves, but also really, and I suppose this is where it links into sort of Islam Awareness Week, and that is really what's our role as Muslims in Britain, how do we input into society in general, and how can we make sure that the perception of Islam and Muslims is seen in a much more favourable way than it is at the moment. So Islam Awareness Week was first started in 1994, and there was already a recognition that people needed to understand Islam and Muslims better. And of course, forward to 21 years, and the perceptions are really quite negative. And I think one of our main focuses, and certainly the theme this year, Charity Begins at Home, is really about explaining to and reminding Muslims that charity does not always mean about giving money. If you give of your time and yourself with your neighbours and your community, then that in itself will actually deal with the issue of the misconceptions, and Muslims will be seen as much more part and parcel of all of their communities, and that then will deal with some of the misconceptions as well.
Has today really empowered you or given you?
Well, it's encouraged me, because it's good because that's given me an idea that other community, but other issues as well, that we are actually fortunate that we are in Norwich, because we can go and pray in our mosque. There's no one who's telling us we can't go in and pray. That's not my experience, so you can make me so appreciate what we've got here.
So we have a dhikr every other Saturday, and it's where we come and we sing qasidas and we do the word and remembering Allah. And so we will provide a meal, so there'll be a main dish, so curry, Thai green curry or chicken or lamb, and then we have a salad with it, and then a dessert as well, so we're very fortunate. So yeah, and I think there's just so much barakah in the cooking and the eating together. Like Sheikh Abdul Haq here, he says that even if you're serving, there's just the barakah in the serving. Even if you can't take part of the dhikr, that is your dhikr. And yeah, alhamdulillah, there's barakah in it.
What is barakah?
Barakah is blessings from Allah, so inshallah we'll get lots of barakah.
Also invite non-Muslims, and at the moment Muslims seem to have a negative perception, so we wanted to really just put the true picture of what Muslims are really like out there, so that people get a true picture of what Muslims are like, as opposed to what you see in the newspapers or on TV. I know we had a few non-Muslim visitors, so hopefully they would have got a flavour of who we really are and what Muslims are like.
What you see, everything that you've seen through what we've been doing through this week. If you come visit us and you come, see what we're doing, it is what it is. There's nothing false about it. What we're doing is true. So
we're a wide range of people here in the community, and we're very welcoming. We welcome everyone into this mosque, into the Ihsan mosque.
It's like one big family teaching each other something new. See, everyone's learning, and as you grow up, you're learning something new by different people.
Come and visit Ihsan Mosque if you can in Norwich. You will experience something wonderful. Yeah.
What is this thing that them call Islam? Some of them call it peace, but the real meaning is submission. When there's a meeting, the greeting is Assalam. Alaikum, reply wa alaikum salam.